Okay, so let's talk about this. What if all those things people call messy or chaotic or disorganized weren't actually character flaws at all? What if psychology is right and they're really just signs of a mind that's, well, super active, complex, and incredibly intelligent? I mean, have you ever been called any of those things? Disorganized, lazy, just plain chaotic? Maybe it was about your desk looking like a disaster zone, or someone pointing out that your daily routine makes absolutely zero sense. If you've ever felt that sting of judgment for your seemingly scattered lifestyle, then yeah, you're going to want to stick around. But here's the twist. Psychology tells a totally different story. It turns out those exact same habits, the ones people label as lazy or undisciplined, are often tied to some serious cognitive strengths. We're talking about things like high mental efficiency and a real craving for complexity. So our whole goal here is to flip that script and reframe these so-called flaws. All right, let's dive right into the first sign. This one is all about where intelligent minds decide to put their energy. And spoiler alert, it's not really about being messy. It's about being incredibly selective. This leads us to a fascinating idea called selective organization. Think about it. Is your bedroom a complete mess, but your computer files or, the project systems in your head are perfectly organized? That's this in action. It means you're subconsciously funneling all your brain power into what actually matters for your big goals, and you just let the unimportant stuff like physical tidiness fall by the wayside. So yeah, someone else might look at your desk and just see chaos. But what's really going on? Your mind is being hyper-efficient. It's saving all its best energy for the deep, complex thinking, not for the superficial stuff. Okay, on to sign number 2. Let me ask you this. How do you really feel about simple, repetitive chores? Like folding laundry, doing the dishes, again. Does it feel almost mentally painful, like it's physically draining you? Well, there's some really cool psychology behind that feeling. See, when a task is super easy and predictable, your brain basically gets bored. It stops giving you those little hits of dopamine that make you feel good. So for a mind that's built to crave novelty and challenge, those routine tasks can quite literally feel painful. And that just proves the point, right? It's not about being lazy. Not at all. Your mind is just wired differently. It's constantly on the hunt for a real challenge, for something engaging. It just refuses to waste its precious energy on boring stuff because it's starving for deeper stimulation. Okay, let's keep building on this. We're going to look at the next couple of signs, and these really explain why your whole workflow, your approach to rules and getting things done can look a little unconventional to other people. So, sign number 3. Do you just hate rigid schedules or following a rule just because someone says that's how we've always done it? Well, it turns out psychology actually links higher intelligence with lower conformity. You have this deep-seated need to get the why behind a rule, to understand its logic, not just follow it blindly. And yeah, it might make you look a bit unstructured, but really, that's where innovation and adaptable thinking come from. All right, sign number 4 is a big one, and it's so often mistaken for just plain old procrastination. On the outside, it looks like you're leaving tasks half-finished, just putting things off. But what's going on inside? Often, it's a hidden struggle with perfectionism. Here's why. When you have a brain that can see the perfect final version of something with crystal clarity, every tiny flaw just screams at you. So you delay, not because you're lazy, but because you're actually afraid that what you make won't ever match that perfect image in your head. It's ironic, right? Your messy workflow isn't from a lack of vision. It's from having too much clarity. Okay, let's get to our last 2 signs. These are all about the inner workings of a mind that's just always in motion, always processing, always chasing the next big thing. So, sign number 5, let's call it serial obsession. Does this sound familiar? You find a new topic and you dive in like headfirst. You become a total expert in 2 weeks and then, poof, just as suddenly the interest is gone and you're on to the next thing. This is such a classic pattern. And look, that doesn't mean you're flaky. It's just your brain's powerful curiosity system doing its thing. Every time you learn something new, you get this massive dopamine reward. So once you feel like you've kind of solved a topic, your brain just naturally starts hunting for the next big challenge to conquer. And that brings us to our final sign, number 6. And honestly, it's pretty simple. The reason your physical world might look messy is because your internal world is running at like 100 miles an hour. Minds like this are just built for nonstop processing. I mean, think about it. Your mind probably never really shuts off, right? It's always analyzing things, replaying conversations from 3 days ago, connecting ideas that seem totally unrelated. It's working overtime 24/7. And when your brain is operating at that level, seriously, organizing a bookshelf just doesn't even make the to-do list. So, where does this leave us? Let's pull it all together. The big takeaway here is that these habits, they're not flaws you need to fix. They're more like side effects of a mind that just runs deeper. And the real trick is figuring out how to turn that unique wiring into your biggest superpower. So when you look at the whole list, that selective organization, hating routine, always questioning the rules, the perfectionism that looks like procrastination, jumping from one obsession to the next, and that high-speed internal world, what are they really? They're just the natural results of a mind that's complex and always, always engaged. So if any of this, or maybe all of this, felt really personal, I want you to remember this the next time someone gives you a hard time about your process or your space. You are not lazy, and you are definitely not broken.
Your mind just operates on a different level. It's deeper, it's more complex. And that leads to this really powerful idea. Your struggles, your messes, they aren't failures. They're just the price you pay for that depth. So maybe the real question isn't, how do I fix my mess? But how do I learn to harness the incredible power that created it in the first place?